Please never let it stop. I just want your everything.
Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. It's your girl Deja. If this is your first time here, please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that notifications bell so that you are notified every time I post. And if this is not your first time, if this is your second or third time coming back, then I just want to say thank you and I love you so much and I hold you dear to my heart, and keep on watching, keep on supporting. So as you know, this video is about how I moved from Virginia to Atlanta in 7 days. Like, who does that? Who does that? No one. But one thing about it, if you know me, I'm a very spiritual person. I'm a very, faith-filled person. So everything about this move was God ordained and divine for me, and my destiny. So nothing about this was a coincidence. Nothing about this was just me just being dumb and adventurous. Like, no, like this, even though I love doing dumb and adventurous things. But no, this move was literally instructed by God. So I'm just gonna, sit back and relax, and I'm about to tell you everything from beginning to end. It was always my dream to live in LA. Like, I never even expected or even considered living in Atlanta. But back in February, the beginning of 2020, me and one of my friends, we decided to just come visit Atlanta for the sake of it. Like, it was just a little trip, like nothing deep. And she actually was the one who fell in love with Atlanta. It was her plan to, maybe eventually move out here. Like, she loved it. I was like, it's cool, the vibes is straight, but I always wanted to live in LA. I'm an actress, and that's where Hollywood is, and that's what I always wanted. But little did I know that this is where I was gonna end up. So I leave Atlanta, I get back to school, get back to college, and I had an acting class, and my acting teacher, one day, I was just talking to him about, agents and stuff like that, and what's the best area to try to, get an agent. And you know what he tells me? He said, right now, my best bet would probably be going to Atlanta and maybe getting an agent in the surrounding states, either South Carolina, North Carolina, or, maybe someone who doesn't have as many clients in Atlanta so that they could focus on me. But he was pretty much telling me, like, LA is so saturated. It's going to be difficult, especially when you're up and coming and, you don't have much credentials. It's going to be hard to really get an agent. And in my mind, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm born for this. Like, everything's going to work out. Like, that's just how I think. Like, everything's going to work out for me. This is what I'm meant to do. And if that's what I want, I'm going to get it. So I didn't even pay attention to that. I was like, okay, cool, thank you for the information. I really appreciate it. But I'm stuck on LA. I'm stuck on LA. So, from the time that I visited back in February, I had made a few friends out here. Well, I wouldn't really say friends, but just someone that I gave my number to. And I was communicating with that person. And, I don't know how, we were just talking about, I was asking him certain questions and, things like that. And one night I had literally got off the phone and I went to sleep and I had a dream of me literally with that person in Atlanta. I woke up and I called them. I'm like, yo, why did I have this dream? like, what does this mean? Like, I didn't like, what does this mean? So I was like, okay, cool. Second time Atlanta comes up. So a couple weeks later, mind you, the pandemic is about to hit. Like literally the beginning of March, I believe. Like basically we went on spring break and never came back. That's pretty much how that worked. So within, I believe, like a week or two after a week after I had that dream, and 2 weeks after my acting teacher told me that my best bet for, you know, landing an agent and stuff like that would be going to the South, you know, going to Atlanta. So 2 weeks after that, someone else brings up Atlanta and mentions to me how, you know, it's just great for up and coming actors, and how, you know, it's really Black Hollywood now, and how, you know, it's so much going on, so many films being shot there. And it's like, yeah, I knew that, but I was like, okay, whatever. Like, this keeps coming up, you know, let me look into it. So I did my research and I was like amazed, like, hold on, I knew, you know, the Tyler Perry Studios, and I knew all these different, you know, a few movies I knew of that got shot out here, and I knew that. However, I did not realize to the extent of how many major productions went on out here. I had no clue. So that kind of blew my mind, and it kind of intrigued me a little bit. I'm like, hold on. Okay. You know, I kind of wasn't so closed-minded anymore. I was open to it. You know, but I still had to see LA. I had to. So, you know, pandemic hits, we end up going back home. You know, I had to leave my apartment that was on campus because they just didn't want to be responsible for us in a pandemic. So I had to pack up all my stuff and go home back to little old Tappahannock. I was depressed. I sat in the house for months. You couldn't go nowhere. Virginia was on lockdown. I was depressed. I have no friends back home. And the friends that I, you know, did have back home, we kind of grew apart. You know, after I started living a certain, you know, more like pure lifestyle, you know, those certain people kind of drifted away from me. Like, we have nothing in common anymore. So it was very miserable. So I started looking at apartments in Atlanta. That's exactly what I did. Started looking at apartments. I'm like, okay, I'm moving. Like, I'm moving. I don't care. You know, even though if it works out for me to go to LA, cool. If it don't, cool. But in that moment, Atlanta it wouldn't leave me. So I kept, you know, looking up places or whatever. I wanted my mom to move with me. That was the plan. She acted like she was cool with it, you know. She was gonna come because my youngest brother was turning 18. I had already turned 18 and was about to graduate high school, so he was cool, you know. He didn't really need her anymore. So she could come with me because I need her. I'm kind of needy. But yeah, I just wanted her to come with me because, you know, the opportunity, and then also I don't know anyone out here for real. So I kind of wanted someone with me, or at least have a roommate, you know, someone to help pay the bills, you know. So I wanted to move right away. By like before summer even started, I was ready to move. And, you know, I kind of held out for my mom because she wanted more time to get things together and, you know, whatever. So I waited and I got bored one day. Literally July hit and I'm like, you know what? These tickets are pretty cheap. So I went to LA. I went to LA, I went to Hollywood, and I loved it. It was like a dream come true. So I was so conflicted. Because that was, you know, that's my dream. But I felt like my heart was pulling me towards Atlanta, and God was, you know, putting that on my heart. So once I got back to Virginia, I was doing these prayer calls, and where we fast and do prayer calls, you know, just kind of commune with God and talk to God and stuff like that. So one day I just went on there. I was just giving my feedback on the whole session, and the lady that runs that was running the prayer call, she's like, yo, like, Deja, I'm picking you up like in my spirit, and I feel like God is telling you, you're going to Atlanta. That's where he's moving you to. You're called, to that area. That's where you're going. And I was like, yo, stop playing. Like, yo, like, I'm not crazy. I'm not. Like, God was literally giving me these signs. I had the dream. I had an acting teacher, recommend that place, and I don't know, it just kept coming up. So she confirmed that. And after that, I'm like, okay, LA, I still love you and I'll be there one day. But it was just confirmation that this is where I needed to be. So a few months goes by. I ended up getting a job, and I worked for literally 3 weeks. 3 weeks. So within that 3 weeks, that's all the money that I had. I had just spent all the money that I did save up, like going on trips and stuff. So the money that I literally got that job so I could kind of, make the money back that I was saving to move, that I spent on my trips. Wasn't smart, but whatever. God doesn't care about none of that. If he wants you to go, you're gonna go. So I don't even think I had maybe close to 1,000 saved, not even that, after I spent all that money traveling and everything. So literally one day I come home from work and I'm on the phone with an old friend, and I get an email, and the same lady who told me she felt like God was sending me to Atlanta, that same lady emailed me. And she goes, Deja, like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what's going on, but God is telling you to go right now. Like, right now. And I'm like, I'm on the phone with my friend. I'm like screaming. I'm like, yo, like, da-da-da-da, because I wanted to leave right now. I felt in my spirit that I had to go, but I was waiting on my mom because I didn't want to go alone. But sometimes you gotta go alone. So that's what I did. Within 7 days of that email, I packed up all my stuff. I bought a flight, and I didn't even have enough money to book an Airbnb for a month. My mom ended up paying for that, over $1,000 for me to book an Airbnb for a month, a really nice house. So that was maybe like a 30-40 minutes on the outskirts of Atlanta in Marietta, Georgia. So that's where I was staying at for a good 2 months. And after my first month, I ended up getting a job. I waitressed for a little bit at a place, and to continuously pay the rent that I had to pay there at the Airbnb. So I'll talk more later about like the details that I had to go through with that, because that's a whole nother story. I had so many ups and downs while I was in that transition period as well. But literally as soon as I touched down in Georgia, it was just like sign after sign after sign. As soon as I got to the airport, like, I was seeing 888. I had literally 888. For me, that means, literally new beginnings. So I had literally went to, one of the stores. I got some snacks and a drink for the plane. And that's what my total came up to. And it was just like, yo, that's crazy. That is so crazy, because I kept seeing it and I kept seeing it everywhere. So I'm just like, wow, okay, God, all right, cool. So that was just confirming that, this is where I belong. This is where I was supposed to be for this chapter of my life. And it was so surreal. And I'll have other videos coming to give you more information about, my transition period when I was staying in an Airbnb. Now God blessed me, with an apartment, and I met 2 wonderful, wonderful girls that I love so much already, that are my roommates, and we have a bomb apartment, and I love it so much. And yeah, I'm just so grateful and so blessed. And you know, it was just crazy. Like, I know people had all these questions, but this is just my quick little, I wouldn't say quick, it's kind of long now, but just a little story time of what prompted me to come. And I can come with another video to just give people the, you know, the answers to the questions that they really want to know. I know people have asked me specific questions, you know, financial wise, and just the atmosphere here, the nightlife, and you know, and just the atmosphere. But yeah, I live on the east side of Atlanta now, which, you know, I haven't I haven't had any bad experiences, but it is kind of considered the hood, quote unquote. However, you know, I live in a gated area, so I don't have to worry about anything. I'm good. Like, you can't get in here if you don't live here, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so no, like, violence wise, actually, ooh, that's another story. I have come in been in some situations, some dangerous situations since I've been here as well. So that'll be a separate video. I have so many stories already. I haven't even been here but maybe 3-4 months, and I have stories after story after story. I've seen so much. So yeah, that's all I really got to say right now. But yeah, basically moral of this story is, if God is prompting you to go, you better go, because it will be so rewarding in the end. And I know, you know, it was kind of hard. I didn't think that I would be sad, or, you know, that I would miss home. Which I don't miss home. I don't miss Tappahannock. I don't miss Virginia. But I didn't expect, like, when I left, I literally cried as soon as, like, when I got to the airport and I was about to, like, a few of my friends called me, and as soon as I got off the phone with them, you know, when my mom left and stuff like that, like, I literally just, I didn't know I was about to get emotional, but I cried like a baby in that airport. Everyone's looking at me. They're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's happy tears." Like, it's happy tears. Like, I'm really about to go to this new area alone, by myself, you know, and start this whole new life by myself and really fend for myself. And it was getting real. And yeah, like, it has been so rewarding. It's been, you know, just amazing. And I've loved every minute of it. I've met so many great people since I've been here. And yeah, let me stop rambling. But yeah, I did just I don't know, I don't even know what to say anymore. But yeah, that was definitely an emotional moment, getting on that first flight and coming out here. It was definitely it was kind of sad. Which was so funny, because once I finally got on the plane, the girl that was sitting next to me, I had my big black shades on, like, you couldn't even see me. Like, I'm just like under here like, okay, get it together. But the girl that was sitting next to me, it was so funny. I could see her kind of like looking at me or whatever. So I had just told her, I was like, "Girl, please don't mind me. These are happy tears. I'm over here, you know, like, just getting it together. Like, don't worry about me. I'm good." And she was like, she turned over and she was like, "Girl, it's cool." And she was crying too. So then we both just was dying laughing about that, because we both were sitting there, the only two girls just crying on the plane, and we had to be sitting next to each other. But yeah, so that's all I really have to say for this. This is, you know, if you made it this far to the end, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And, you know, thank you for listening to my story time about how God moved me to Atlanta from Virginia in 7 days. and I have so much more content coming for you guys. And I don't know, I love doing this. Mind you, let me tell you, people have been telling me to start a YouTube for like forever, ever. And I just was like, no. But now that I'm doing it, you know, I know I'm still in my beginning stages, but I just have a feeling this is really gonna just grow for me. And, you know, I just love to talk. I love to talk. I used to have a radio show and on the mic in college, and, you know, shout out to DV, my co-host. But yeah, like anything talking wise. Okay, let me shut up. All right, y'all. Gotta go. I'm going for real this time. Thank you for watching. Go ahead, please like, comment, and subscribe. And please be on the lookout for my next video. I love you guys so much. Bye.